I will say that the sister's poetry hit a nerve with me. I grew up with all brothers, and when you don't have sisters and sister-in-laws and daughters around you, it's difficult. It's difficult, I think, sometimes coming from the cultural aspects of where we come from sometimes for men to understand sisters. And so I want to say, as I've grown older, with my wife, my daughters, my sister-in-laws, I've been blessed to understand the other side. And so I thank you, sister, for the beautiful poetry. It struck a nerve. Thank you. So next, I'd like to, we have another award that we'd like to present to a gentleman that most of us in this audience know. He's been practicing as an ENT specialist since 1976, primarily in the Lakewood community and here in New Jersey. And as many of you know, the Lakewood community is extremely diverse, and it has a large Jewish population. And for this man to make a home there as a practicing physician tells you about the trust that other communities have with him. He's a founding member of the Zamana Center in Freehold, New Jersey. And when I was speaking to him earlier, he said one thing that really describes the type of person he is. And he said to me, as a medical doctor, we're all the same inside. And if you think about that, he's absolutely right. And so for our message of peace and interfaith belonging and learning from each other, I think we all have to remember that on the inside, God has created us all the same. And so I'd like to welcome to the stage a dear part of our human family who has given his life to service of our community. This is Dr. Syed Moosa Jaffari, and we're presenting him with the Muslims for Peace Lifetime Community Services Award.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the all-beneficent and the all-merciful, I start with this verse from the Holy Quran, chapter 49, verse 13. O mankind, indeed we created you from a male and a female and made you nations and tribes that you may identify yourself with one another. Indeed, the noblest of you in the sight of Allah is the most God-conscious among you. So this is our guideline and parameter, that the distinction that a person has is not in his wealth or in his beauty, it's all in his piety and God-consciousness. With utmost humility and great appreciation, I thank Muslims for Peace for honoring me with this award. In these extremely difficult times of polarization and misunderstanding of Islam, I commend Muslims for Peace for organizing these interfaith events, for promoting the peaceful message of authentic Islam and the messenger of God who was sent to us as a mercy for mankind. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow all the organizers with the courage and fortitude to continue this sublime effort. Two principles have always inspired and guided me in my personal and professional life. Number one, treat your fellow human beings with the utmost respect and kindness As Imam Ali alayhi salam, in his instruction to Malik-e-Ashtar, when he was appointed governor of Egypt, said to treat people justly and with kindness, as they are either your brethren in religion or brethren in creation. Thus, they deserve to be treated justly and with kindness. This message was also echoed by Kofi Annan, United Nations Secretary General, when he was addressing the 50th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It is quoted from Mark Twain, "Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see." Kindness is the universal language of love. Kindness is something that everyone can understand, regardless of the culture and nationality, religion, or race. It is a language that can be spoken in many ways and always will be heard. And that is what I try to practice to the best of my ability with dealing with my fellow human beings, especially with my patients, who have entrusted me with their health and well-being. As physicians, we carry a great responsibility to treat our patients with the utmost compassion and kindness and to the best of our ability. I want to share a very interesting story which happened to me several years back. A rabbi's daughter from our area in Lakewood came to see me with a swelling in her neck, which she had for a few months. And I immediately had her go through some testing, and it proved to be an early lymphoma. It was successfully treated, and she was cured. And several years later, the rabbi came to me as a patient, and he he told my office girls that he was going to do something different. When I went into the room, he said, "Please show me your hands." And he wanted to kiss them. And I was so deeply moved by this gesture from the rabbi that I said, I don't really deserve it. I did my duty, what I should have done, and all the things is under control of a creator above. It's not us that we do. We are just, Allah uses us to do His work. And this woman has since been married and was blessed with 5 children. And he brought the pictures of his grandchildren to show it to me. So I want to mention a verse from the dua of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, who in Dua Makarimul Akhlaq, he says, if you are raised in the eyes of people, you ask God to lower it to the same degree in yourself. So with these principles, I try to practice my personal and professional life. The second principle I try to live with is in all our activities that we perform, we should seek the pleasure and nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to whom we will return and be ultimately accountable on the Day of Judgment. In conclusion, I want to thank the organizers of Muslim for Peace for organizing this event and the excellent humanitarian work they are doing, and pray to the Almighty that they continue this great effort. Ameen.